Hey guys, you want to hang out and preview Cowboys Ravens? See what we got to do offensively, defensively. How in the world are they going to stop Lamar and Derrick Henry? It's the DLLS Cowboys show. Meow. What up, humans? Welcome. Let's have a time. We're far enough removed from the embarrassment. It's time to crank this thing back up and get excited for a football game for the Dallas Cowboys, okay? Cowboys Ravens on Sunday. Don't miss us with your pre- and post-game show right here on DLLS Cowboys, okay? Don't miss it. YouTube.com/@DLLS_sports. Hello from us. My name is Jeff. It's an aggressive and violent sound effect, but now you know. Next to me is former Cowboys wide receiver, sweet man. He might save your Christmas. He's Jesse Holly.
Oh, Jesse Holly went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
That's a good one. The only thing that you don't want to give 100% in is blood.
Fair. Next to Jesse is it's weird because it's not burnt orange, it's a green hoodie, but it is Texas Longhorns. DeMarvion Overshone's biggest advocate, 28 years now on the Cowboys beat, no Super Bowls. It's Clarence Hill.
If you want to win, put chill in.
Yep,
Put chill in.
you're in.
They
So
ain't
you-
win since they put you in.
Man, but it's bigger than me, sir. It's bigger than me. You open the show with that meow sound, that cat sound.
Yeah.
The question I have, since that's the topic du jour of the world now,
Is cats?
cats, dogs. Will the Ravens eat cats, dogs, and everything on their plate Sunday? Will they be like the Haitians in Ohio?
You don't
I
say
would
that.
like to be clear that the Haitians in Ohio are
Are
not.
not, and we do not find that funny.
Oh, so it's not true.
Damn it, Clarence.
That's the point you're
Let's
trying to
just
make.
move
You
on.
should have led with that.
Let's just move
If
on.
you're in the
should've led
chat,
with
can we
that.
get
The Cowboys have a semblance of a plan,
please like
A
and subscribe?
concept.
concept of a plan
Tom
to
not
stop
feed-
the Ravens' run game.
I would sure like to know who you're voting for in the chat.
No, please don't. Please don't.
Wheels off.
Two eyes with us. We got
Two eyes. Hey, two
Asian
eyes.
Morrison in the building.
Red drop bangs, yeah.
Yeah.
My cousin made it for me.
Who made it?
My cousin.
Shout
Yes.
out, Cuzzo.
No, first of all,
Cuzzo.
you're stressing me out. Empathy is your superpower.
Oh, look at that.
Oh.
Can we get the Matthew in the chat added to the broadcast here, the one at the very bottom, the last one, the
What did
very
Matthew
last one.
say?
Hef is looking good. How's the golf game? Not good. Haven't played in a long time, but there's a reason I'm wearing the suit.
Your golf game
Hey,
don't look
listen,
good as you
you're
look
wearing
good.
the suit with the two buttons unbuttoned. Well, you're
Jesse,
trying to show
yeah.
a little chest.
Yeah,
baby, a little
yeah, you
chest
see that?
action.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you. Look
Yeah.
at you.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
little
He
chest
did.
action.
That's
Oh,
what
boy,
I'm
you
saying.
trying to get
I
a
would
date.
go 3.
You
I
trying to
would
get
go
a
3.
date. You
I would go
trying to
3.
get a date.
Go 3.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
God.
There we go. Friday.
You're
So,
trying to get
Freaky
a date.
Friday,
Is it-
baby.
Did you say what? What?
Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday?
Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
Freak off Friday?
There's a reason that I'm wearing the suit today.
Yes. Explain it, please.
The Cowboy players tend to look up to me, and they look to me for guidance and for how to approach their week, their weekend, the games. And I've been too casual, and I think that's what led to last week's performance. And so this week, I'm going to take things seriously because I believe that they will see me take things seriously, and then they will put their best foot forward.
If they win this week,
You'll be
we're
welcome.
all wearing suits next Friday.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
Deal.
If they win, because
Deal.
you got to keep it going.
Deal.
Okay.
If they win, we're wearing sport coats.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna let our chest hang.
I'm down for
You know,
that.
I'm old school. You know, I'm gonna have a little hamburger meat. You know, I know y'all young folks.
I'm about to throw
y'all
up.
young folks, you like to shave your hair, the chest. You know, we don't do that.
It's not even the good hamburger meat, the Taco Bell kind.
It's great too.
I don't want to talk about it.
I only shave mine once in a while because I only grow like 17 hairs and it looks weird.
It doesn't look weird.
So I have to just.
It's crazy. And I know we're off topic, but growing up,
We are
as
so
a child
far.
in the 70s and 80s, you couldn't wait to get hair on your face and hair on your chest.
And now you don't want it.
And now this generation, how dare you have hair on your chest? That's how we grew up. That was the sign of manhood. Hair on your face, hair on your chest. You wanted that. And now you guys, no, you got to shave the hair on your chest.
I'm just a boy.
That's crazy to me.
I'm just a boy.
I'm manscaping it out, baby.
See, now you're going too far.
I manscaped
Now you're going
it
too
out.
far. See,
I manscapes it out.
You see.
I do have questions that I don't want to ask.
That was him.
I have
was talking about
several.
chest.
No grass on my lawn.
See.
No grass in my yard.
Back to the Cowboys.
So we are going to preview both sides of the ball. We'll play Cowboys win
ball?
because, Cowboys lose because, which we want you to play along with in the chat. You can do it throughout the show. If the Cowboys win, why? If the Cowboys lose this game, why? I think we got some low-hanging fruit answers to those questions, which you could fire at us if you want, or you could be very in-depth and very wise and creative with your answers. So we will do, what order did I do? Cowboys defense will be in the next segment. Cowboys offense, the next segment. Then we'll do picks and win because, lose because. That's what we're going to do. But to get it started, we still got some headlines we didn't really get to. Clarence, you and Joe Hoyt, who's off camera, but he'll be in. You'll see him.
Tell him something, Joe.
He'll be here.
Tell him
You guys are out at
something,
the Star every
Joe.
day, and we didn't even talk about the stuff Micah said. We just there's lots of stuff we haven't done.
It's interesting because the Cowboys are trying to move on, and that's been the theme of the week. We beat ourselves up over the Saints game. We're trying to move on. So Dax talked about it, and CeeDee talked about it. Mike McCarthy talked about it. Of course, as a media, we can't move on. We can't move on. I remember I was talking to CeeDee yesterday, asking about trying to reestablish your home field advantage. You've lost 2 straight at home, and he got all huffy. He was like, "We won 16 straight before that. What do we need to reestablish? Just 2 games in the season, not that big of a deal."
I just like the word huffy.
Yeah,
He got huffy.
And then 2 seconds later, he was asking about a team meeting that they had. And we need to go on and we have to meet and we need to correct some things. But it's 2 games of the season. Why are you meeting?
That's a good point.
Well, it's also too in the way in which you lost these last 2 home games.
Right.
That
They're
would make
embarrassing.
people so of course, because even I rationalized like, dang, no, they won a lot of games at home. But then when you think about the most recent games, it's like, how am I supposed to feel good about home field right now, given that y'all have given up 95 points? Not y'all. Well, the defense had.
Yeah.
Since then.
I have no idea what to do with their home field stuff because they were on what, the best winning streak in the NFL, right? At home, it was like 16 games or something stupid like that. But there's nothing about, with all due respect to anybody who's there every week, there's nothing about AT&T Stadium that's like intimidating to the opposing team. So I never knew what to make of that.
It never has been.
No, but it was important, and it was a foundation of the success that they did own home field. They did play well at home. And, you talk about the 12-5 marks the last 2 years. They were 8-0 at home in the last 2 years. I mean, they did in the regular season, But so something about being at home, they did struggle on the road. That's why Mike McCarthy came out of the season and said, we're going to try to fix our road woes because we're good at home.
Oh, so that's what happened. They were focusing on road stuff and they forgot
to
do
they play
home
Cleveland.
stuff.
They play Cleveland. We'll see how important that road stuff is when they go to San Francisco. We'll see if they fix those problems. And so then they go to Pittsburgh. They have some road woes. But their whole process was, Dax said, we can't get overwhelmed with what people are writing about and talking about. It's just a process. We can't get overwhelmed by all this stuff.
By what Clarence says. Well, and that's human, right? And it's a different world than when you were chasing after the bug truck or whatever you said you're doing in the 70s and just trying to grow your body hairs.
The bug truck, wow.
That's what my dad was doing.
So,
but it's a different world now. Jerry knows everything we say. Right. I promise. Right. Whether it's him going and seeking it out or somebody telling him. The vast majority of players are very online.
No. They do clips. They do clips.
And give them to Jerry.
Yeah, seriously. Jerry and all the coaches. Because it's one thing they've asked me, can I get a free subscription to DLS?
No,
they want a subscription.
We'll sign up to be a diehard. You get a free T-shirt,
Get a
Jerry.
subscription.
We got to.
What are they going to give me?
I want some gloves.
They're gonna because they want to print out every. No, they do. The media staff does a printout of everything that's written about the Cowboys every morning and passes out to Jerry and the coaches, so they see everything. They read everything, so there's no question about that.
What up, then, Jerry? Hey, I want to say first and foremost, I appreciate you because you fed me and you helped me feed the Holly family for a long time, and I'm still eating off some of the things that you presented for me. So if you watching this, if y'all getting this thing back to Jerry, your boy Jay Holly, Jesse Holly, if you want to give me more checks any way, shape, or form, holla at me. All of us, right. But
I would like
Jerry, Steven, Charlotte, Shy. Who else am I missing? Lil Jerry.
The other one.
Hey.
Rowdy.
We love you.
And Rowdy.
Jerry.
And Rowdy Jerry Jr.
Hell if I know.
No, Rowdy is not Jerry Jr.
Hey,
sorry, Jerry Jr.
Jerry, if you watching,
Jerry Jr. is going to punch you in the throat.
What's up, my boy? What's up, man? Hey, my boy, what's up?
So it's interesting because talking to Dak, and we talked to Micah the day before, and Micah's still pissed off. And he's still upset about how the defense performed and taking it personally. Certainly, Zimmer took ownership of the defense and their performance because he's a coach. That's what he's going to do. But there were some effort issues, and the Cowboys don't want to admit. No one wants to admit that the coaches don't want to admit there was a lack of effort. But Micah said there was a lack of effort issues.
Yeah.
And maybe that's one reason why a certain defensive end got put on IR. Defense tackle, excuse me, got put on the IR when he said he wasn't hurt.
I'd like to apologize because I feel like I put him there. I'm sorry.
I do want to ask this question, kind of a question and kind of my feelings. Because I was talking to Michael Irvin and I was talking to Nate Newton. And
you finna tee me up. Because I know how they feel about the legacy and the tradition of the Cowboys.
No, we're not doing that.
Not today.
We're not doing that.
Finish your point, Jesse.
Tee me up.
I just feel like, and this is not me trying to bring back public shame or anything like that.
Yeah.
But when we talk about culture and environment, in those days, from those dudes, if you saw the effort that was put forth out there on that game on Sunday, you couldn't come back in the locker room and be friends with those guys.
No.
Like, there was no, hey, bro, it's all good. We're going to go get something to eat. Like, Michael's like, I would have dog cussed you.
Right.
You would have felt very uncomfortable to be in this locker room. You would have felt very, very ostracized around us. You would have felt like, and so, and maybe though, and Nate said the same thing. Nate was like, it's one thing, because I brought up to Nate, I said, what about that 11 sack game that you guys gave up, back in the day, yada, yada, yada. He said, I trust and believe you, me. He goes, the guys on defense, Tony Tolbert and company, all those guys are like, what the bleep.
See, that's a whole conversation about the different personalities and different type of players that are in the NFL today. Them was real dogs back then.
And that's what I'm saying.
And as a media member, they would cuss us out too.
But that's what I'm saying. If that is...
Jay Ratliff almost beat up Calvin, didn't he?
But that's because Calvin started. But imagine if Charles Haley used to go after you. I mean,
but if you could put that type of performance on film...
Yeah.
And then come back into the locker room and everybody still goes, hey, what's up, buddy? Let's go have dinner. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Like, then it's almost saying it's okay.
It's a lack of accountability.
It's just like Tom Brady saying, I'm not throwing the ball back to Jalen Brooks. And Dak saying, no, that's my boy. I got to throw it to him because I need him.
The world's changed.
The world's changed.
But also...
Because those guys... I know Troy Aikman wouldn't be throwing back to him.
But that's
because Troy Aikman was like that.
This is why I said that
legacy...
He'd have
cussed him out on the sideline.
That's why I keep telling you, Pop, that legacy and that standard is dead. My bad.
Come on, man.
That's my fault.
I have no grandchildren.
My bad.
I have no grandchildren.
My bad.
Sorry.
But that's what I'm saying. That's dead. It's
dead. Not dead though.
100%.
It's not dead.
When you can go out there and have that
we're not gonna go off the rails here because I wouldn't. Because Michael and Nate and Troy and Kevin, they all would have a different answer than you on this subject because you played during the losing times.
But that's what
I think during the winning time.
But I think that's kind of what he's saying is the different generation. He's not saying that those guys no longer exist and feel the way they felt. He's saying this generation of player it tends to be different the way
No,
that they
it is
respond to these
different,
things.
but the expectations, we're talking about the expectations.
Right.
We have a different perspective on
Right.
what the expectations should be.
Yeah.
We all know the players are different.
But the
We have a-
expectations aren't like they clearly aren't the same.
they are the same. They
Look,
just ain't
did you
living
see-
up to them.
Did you watch what we watched on Sunday?
If they ain't living up to them, that don't mean the expectations ain't the same.
But can I push back on 90s Cowboys and every time that they talk? Congrats on the Herschel Walker trade. Your team was better than every team you played for 5 years. Congrats. So,
Okay.
yeah, and then we get to look back and be like, and the reason they won is because they were tough and they were dogs.
They
and
were.
they were my ass. You were better than everyone you played. That's why you won.
They were. But they also had accountability. They also had dogs. They also had Hall of Famers. And the Herschel Walker trade did not bring Michael Irvin or Troy Aikman.
No,
okay?
being ass the years before did.
Okay.
Oh, y'all can't
they
say
did
that.
not bring that.
Like, you
But
guys
just-
were better.
No, there's no question about that. But just getting back to the locker room just
Yeah.
for a minute before we wrap up, Dak and CeeDee are working hard to get back on the same page. We talked about it yesterday about CeeDee missing training camp because of how the Cowboys do business. And that was the reason why they did not cook up on that first touchdown pass. They talked about, and CeeDee took ownership of it. He took ownership of it again. That was his fault, and he's going through his training camp now. The thing is, and we'll get back to it and why they win and why they lose, but the Cowboys offense and Dak Prescott, he has to outduel Lamar Jackson. And I think it's a good question to ask. If you're picking, I've been talking about some other players, if you're picking a quarterback, who you rather have, Dak or Lamar
You
Jackson?
can't do that with 0 seconds left. I would take Lamar. I think both are
We'll
really.
go back
I
into
think
it.
both are really.
But one
really.
is more quarterbacky.
Yeah, I think both are probably top 5.
If you look
top
at their
6 in
numbers,
the
Dak
league.
has better quarterback numbers. Lamar is a more dynamic player.
I would take Lamar.
Dak is
and I
a
love
better
Dak.
leader.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love Dak. I would take Lamar.
same.
Anyway, we get into more stuff.
Oh,
Cowboys defense, how are they going to get it back together going up against Baltimore? We're going to get into that in about 120 seconds. But I also want to encourage you to check out our friends at EmpireToday.com. EmpireToday.com. You go to EmpireToday.com/DLLS, and as you can see on the screen, if you watch on YouTube, $350 off. Empire Today is the best. They did the flooring out here in our studio that's got the wood out there, but they've got the wood, they got the laminate, they got the carpet, whatever it is that you need, and they have plenty of options. They can help you see exactly what that would look like in your home, and they don't carry, like, they're not going to say we have the lowest price, because the people who have the lowest price are probably carrying stuff that Empire Today wouldn't carry and you don't want in your home. So they're the best in the world. They're the best in the business. The virtual floor designer, super cool way for you to see what something would look like in your home. So check them out. They service their own warranties. If an issue does arise, you just call Empire and they service all those warranties themselves. You won't have to track down a manufacturer's phone number. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use the promo code DLLS. Restrictions apply. See EmpireToday.com/DLLS for details. Welcome, Joe. Game time for Joe.
What's up, everybody? I'm here to talk about game time.
Yeah.
Yes. While you guys were talking in that first segment, I kind of just took a moment and kind of zoned off, and I was like, Friday night, what could I be doing? There's a lot of things,
What
this
do you
weekend.
do?
Oh, I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing yet, but
Oh.
I went on Game Time. And I scrolled and I scrolled and I scrolled,
See what I'm
and
gonna
there were
do.
so many options between concerts, between shows, between games. You got the Iron Skillet between SMU and TCU in town this weekend.
Love
There's
skillets.
a lot of things going on. And the other thing I noticed, a lot of super deals. Okay, that's something that will really hook you up. Game Time is the best marketplace around. You can see exactly where you're going to be sitting, a panoramic view. You can know before you go. They've got all-in pricing, so you're not going to get surprised with fees at the end of it.
There's something called Lamp tonight.
You want to go to Lamp?
Maybe.
Let's go to Lamp.
All right.
They got the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. This is just facts. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Create an account and redeem the code DLLS for $20 off. What time is it?
Game time!
Oh,
right.
tater tots. I missed it.
It's okay. You want to do it again?
Sorry, I saw the clock. I had to.
It's okay. Joe, just do it again.
What time is it?
Game time!
Okay, I did it.
Yeah, I usually had a who, but I feel like a
Y'all
lot
put
of
so
people
much
haven't been doing
bass
that,
in
so I
y'all's
stopped
voice
doing
when
it.
y'all do it, so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
you gotta,
gotta
like,
match y'all's energy.
Project.
Game time. Woo.
No, it's game time. Cowboys defense.
We can get weird with it.
Oh yeah,
Christmas time is here.
I love the chipmunks. Cowboys defense played like some chipmunks last week.
Oh, good transition.
Wow.
Segue.
Yeah. Now we want them to play like some sort of animal that's larger than a chipmunk. And it ain't gonna be easy because we just watched the worst run defense I've ever watched in my life on tape. and now you're going to go up against the best running quarterback of all time and running back who is defying the world by still being good, even though he's old. Derrick Henry still looks like a monster. So Cowboys are going to have a big challenge, and the question is going to be, is week 1 real? Is week 2 real? What is the in-between? How much is effort? How much is you don't have the horses, you don't have the bodies? And so we take a look at the Cowboys defense going up against the Ravens offense, and how do we hope that this can be better?
Man, your linebackers are going to have to play phenomenal football. They're going to have to be very sure of what they're seeing and come downhill and fill with certainty, because we don't know what's going to happen with the DT position at this point. I mean, you have Linval Joseph and you have Oso Digizua. Those are your starting D tackles right now. So I think with that being said, and we talked about it yesterday, these guys aren't getting double teamed. These guys are getting one-on-one blocks. So your linebackers are going to have to work so much harder in this game. So we'll see. I think they're in a tough position with the DTs, but I mean, that's my thing. They're going to have to do superhuman stuff.
And it's weird because the worst thing you can do in football is play hero ball.
Yeah.
And it's going to be tempting.
Well,
And it's going to be tempting.
and I think that's kind of what we saw last week was guys looking at that front and seeing them get moved around and feeling like they needed to do more to compensate for that. And it's a problem.
Let me get out the way for they block this guy into me. So
Facts.
let me.
If you hesitate, you're done.
It was really a lot of if I don't get out the way now, I'm probably gonna get run into by the guy who's actually supposed to be helping me get to the ball carrier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you get earholed by your own defensive tackle, that's not ideal.
No. Yeah,
It's
but that's how I felt. It's just the linebackers are going to have to play out of their mind football, I believe. What you
And
got, Jeff?
it's funny because when you were talking about defensive tackle, what are we going to do? I just had this thought of I swear defensive tackle the last 5 years, it's become such an emphasis to have a rotation, to be so deep there, of all positions, to be deep at defensive tackle. Instead, you just named 2, and then they have Carlos Watkins coming in, not deep at all. I'm glad you picked up on the linebackers, though, or pointed that out, because they got to be so precise in terms of zone read and stuff like that and know exactly what they're seeing. I asked Mike McCarthy, hey, we talk a lot about replicating Lamar Jackson. They used Trey Lance in that role this week. They used Cooper Rush in that role this week. But I asked him, how do you also replicate 550 pounds or nearly a metric ton in the backfield between Pat Ricard and Derrick Henry? And there's no replicating that. There's no live tackling anymore. There's no replicating that. So I think the linebackers, to your point, yes, it's kind of a very contingent. The defensive tackle just does something in this game, but those linebackers got to be on point.
And what makes it difficult is when you're playing with young linebackers.
Yes.
That's the difficult part, because the term for linebacking play is slow until you know, right? And then you'll be able to accelerate and hit the gas. The problem is now when you're talking about read option, when you're talking about zone runs, it's these young players are having had this accelerated learning process. I now have to see things that I probably am not used to seeing at a much faster rate, right? So when you get put into these games, as good as Overshown is and as good as Louis could be, you've never seen Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And people sometimes don't get it until you're actually standing in front of him. You've never seen King Henry. Never.
Yeah.
And all the games that you played at Notre Dame and all the games that you played at Texas, you've never seen anything.
You got to be old enough to have played Jerome Bettis or something.
Like that.
Yeah.
Except way
And
faster.
so now you get into the game and your mind is already, because your mind is already playing tricks on you, because you're saying to yourself, boy, are we actually going to get help up front? And then, oh snap, I got to make sure that I'm watching this zone read, and then now I have to react to what it looks like to have a running back coming at me for all intents and purposes that's bigger than I am.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's legitimately bigger than I am.
He's 6'2", 250.
Yeah.
And then understand when Lamar breaks containment or he's now the lead runner,
It's a lot to worry about.
it's a lot going on in this
It's
young
a lot
kid's
to
mind.
worry about,
And
yeah.
so we talked about it a week ago about the thinking doesn't allow you to play fast. And this is one of the games where you must play fast, you must play physical, but you must be in the right place, because Lamar will outrun angles, and Derrick Henry, you don't want to be on SportsCenter because now you've been stiff-armed to the dirt.
Yeah.
And so those are the things that we talk about linebacker play and the young players that have to go out there and play that you're counting on. Eric Kendricks, 10 years, he's seen it all. But the two young guys that have to play around him, those are the guys who you kind of got to go. And for for Zim is, what can you throw at them? Because what can they retain? So that's the give and take of what can I put in? What could they retain that they're able to go out there and play fast? That's going to be a big question for those linebackers this weekend.
And I'm glad you brought up just the young linebackers, because Clarence talked with DeMarvin on Overshown yesterday. And they asked him, hey, base defense, you didn't play a lot of that in week 2. Are you going to be on that more? And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll be on it. So that's probably not good for either Damone Clark or Maris Liufau. He's given us the 1-3 from behind the scenes.
It should be Liufau that's off the field, just if you're wondering.
But one note, too, the reason why there's going to be a lot of base defense is because they have 2 really good tight ends. Actually, 3 if you include Charlie Kohler.
And a fullback.
They got and a 300-pound fullback. They got Mark Andrews.
Problem.
They got Isaiah Likely. They also run 2 tight end personnel 49% of the time. When they're running 12 personnel, which is 1 running back, 2 tight ends, they have the number 2 EPA rank in the entire NFL.
That's awesome. Yeah, they're going to have at least 7 blockers out there, and the Cowboys have like 2 defensive tackles on the roster. Really looking forward to that.
And the Cowboys struggle with it since last year, is getting the free blocker, to find them. But you mentioned Jesse, I wanted to comment on like the RPO stuff and things like that. I agree. They've never seen a Lamar Jackson, but I will say in this last 3-4 years, I think these kids are more equipped, given that we're seeing an uptick in RPO all the way around, NFL and in college. And so I do think that they have they do have some experience, but to your point, they've never seen a Lamar. But with this is my thing about Derrick Henry and watching him. I feel like he's a momentum runner. I feel like
he's gonna get started.
They called him the Juggernaut this week.
Yeah, you got him. He does take some time to kind of rev up, even when he hits the hole. And that might be because of age or whatever the case may be.
I think he's always been that way.
He's always been a little, and it kind of looks like patience, but I don't think it's patience. I think he just really is a big human.
Yeah.
And he has some time to get going. He doesn't have amazing acceleration, but he has pretty decent top speed, right? So for him, I'm like, you can't let him get a feel. You can't let him get going, because when he starts feeling like he can run on you, you could see it in games where he's just like, oh, and you guys don't want to tackle me.
You can go back and watch it. He actually runs better when the fullback is not in front of him than opposed to when the fullback is in front of him. When he's able to have that space where he can kind of now see it.
He needs a runway.
Like, that's when you go back and watch it. Go watch the plays when he has a fullback in front of him, and when the fullback is more, at the end of the line of scrimmage or motions away from him, and now it's just Derrick Henry and the offensive lineman. He's a better runner that way because he gets a better feel of that zone read where I can extend it a little bit more and no one's in front of me, and now I can get going downhill.
We've talked about the super chat.
Yeah, shout out to our guy in the super chat. Do what linebacker Hitchens said on Players Lounge. Gap up at the line of scrimmage. Also, why is Golston and Osa getting passed when the Cowboys' run defense has been subpar for 3 years straight? Osa's never been a great run defender. And Golston is a okay run defender when he's playing on the edge. But he's terrible when he's playing D-tackle. Osa's not...
He's never been, but Osa's
he's 280 pounds.
Yeah, and he's been asked numerous times in his career at this point. Every effing year, he's asked to do things that he doesn't do. He's a 3-tech. He is not a 1-tech. He's not a 2-tech. And somehow, some way, because of the lack of depth and the lack of experience, he always ends up being the guy getting the short end of the stick. And we're not even getting to see him take the next step in his pass rush ability because we have not found a big body to put next to him so he can do what he needs to do.
And his contract will be up at the end of the season.
I don't want to talk about it. But last year, from a pass rush standpoint, he was one of the highest graded DTs in the game. And we see him trickle down at the end of the season. Most of the time it's due to people around him being injured and them being like, hey, can you double team too? No, he cannot.
Well, in this game, you're going to have to earn the right to pass rush. And you're going to have to do it shorthanded at D-tackle against the best running quarterback of all time and a stud running back.
I will say one thing about the Ravens run game, though, too. Tyler Linderbaum is really, really good. Their center. Their guards are not that great.
Left tackle are good.
Fieli is not that good. No. Their other guard, who's slipping my mind right now, also not that good in terms of PFF numbers, anything you want to look at. So there is a little vulnerability
and
there.
they're rotating one of the tackles, I believe the right tackle.
Yeah, Rosengard.
Rosengarten, Rudenberger.
Yeah, they're rotating,
Hot
and
ice.
that's causing some miscommunication with them. But we talked a lot about this run game. We should also be talking about this secondary or this wide receiver core and what maybe they can figure out as well. The Ravens are trying to find big plays right now. they're struggling also, just like the Cowboys, with a lack of explosive plays and having things happen downfield. I wonder if this is a game where they come out and they try to establish that. Like, both teams are in a place to where they're still trying to find their offensive identity in a way. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to toss this ball around. Even though I know they're going to run, if there's opportunities there in the secondary like the Saints saw last week, these safeties got to play better as well. These safeties got to play better. And if you're going to be pressing at the line of scrimmage and man these corners, you better put your hands on somebody. You better let them know, like, redirect them in some way. Do not just give them free releases, because he'll throw the ball downfield.
Yeah, I think this one is going to be a heavy run until you stop us, and then
You think so?
Oh, 100%.
I mean, I definitely think they will run the ball, y'all. But like, the Saints were able to do things in the past too. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, and again too, it's fine. They're trying to find their identity too. Listen to their media and stuff.
One of the reasons why you look at the Baltimore and talking about trying to find that offensive identity, a lot of times that happens up front. You know, don't forget, not too long ago, their offensive line coach died. So they're still, you know, that was one of the guys who, it was like Jacoby Jones, and then that offensive lineman, you know, coach dies. And so they're trying to figure out places and things to go and how to put that together with a new voice and then probably a new, you know, system, so to speak, when their offensive line coach is not there.
Coming up next, we got to get to the Cowboys offense. Dak and CeeDee got to get going. And I'll tell you why I think they can. How about that? Huh?
Yeah.
It's a tease. It's a tease. I teased it. Hey, hit the like and subscribe. Thanks.
All right, man. Then we go to our friends at Shady Rays. Get your goggles on, get your shades on, man. Head over to Shady Rays for the great season ahead with quality shades built to last. Use our promo code DLLS for 35% off polarized glasses. Shady Rays is an independent sunglass company offering a world-class product rated 5-star by 300,000 people. They have hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. They probably have the style of your favorite team color too. So head over to ShadyRays.com, use our promo code DLLS to get 35% off some polarized sunglasses. Keep the haters out your face, because in Texas, the summertime is disrespectful. It just won't give up to fall. Yeah. It just keeps being 100,000 degrees out here, even though he has a sweatshirt on. But head over to ShadyRays.com, get you some nice shades, man. 35% off using our promo code DLLS.
All right, I also want to shout out our friends at FOCO, which is FOCO, and you can see some of the stuff behind us, you know, bobbleheads, gear, shirts, hoodies. They got all those different things. And use the code DLLS with our friends at FOCO, and that's going to get you DLLS 10, and that'll get you 10% off. We love our friends at FOCO. I actually got an email yesterday. It was wild. I got it from FOCO.
What did they say?
They got a new bobblehead. It's CeeDee. It's the CeeDee Lamb Bobble Doubles. It's a bobblehead that's holding a miniature version of the bobblehead. Oh. And they just released the CeeDee.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
And the Burrow.
A cowboy bobblehead.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
Yeah, double bobble. It's a double bobble.
Into existence.
Merton Hanks.
That's a lot of neck.
That is a lot of neck.
Let the band play neck.
Wow.
Whether it's jackets, beachwear,
neck,
overalls, whatever you're looking for, set decorations, they got you. FOCO.com, or click the link in the description we have on YouTube. For all non-presale items, use the promo code DLLS for 10% off. Bang. Cowboys offense. Y'all ready for Dak and CeeDee to start going nuts or what? Y'all ready?
I definitely feel like this is a game where we can see Dak Prescott be like, you know what? I got it.
I'm done with all of you.
I got it.
That's a PTB2.
Yes, go.
If you're not familiar, that means you snap the ball. Here we go. And then he gets the ball and he pats that bitch 2 times. Throw it as far as you can.
Where's 88? He's down there somewhere.
That's the
Like your
PTB.
form on that pass.
That's the PTB.
You didn't like that one?
Receiver, man.
Yeah, well.
You got to get that elbow up.
I'm sidearm.
The Ravens' pass defense is the worst in the NFL through 2 weeks.
Run defense is the best.
Trash.
Their pass defense is the worst in the NFL through 2 weeks.
Sometimes the pass got to open up the run, but their run defense is the best because, and that's the problem. That's why you can take advantage of them on the secondary, because they are not about to. That's a part of their culture. They are not about to let you run on them. They don't care if they die.
How many touchdowns have they given up in 2 weeks?
I don't know.
Not that many. 2.
2 in passing. So none in rushing, I would assume. They're 0-2, Clarence.
I know they're on top. I'm just putting that out there. You know, it's funny, and I agree that
we better laugh. We better laugh.
It's laughable. Jerry Jones is on the radio today, and I agree that the way
no, I'm playing.
He is just in denial. Okay, just some of the things he said.
About which position
Jerry
groups?
Jones on the radio downplaying the running back issues. We asked about Dalvin Cook. I must tell you that this is a little bit of a first for me because I've never seen such made of our position and what we're doing at running back this year. Not having done this and not having done that at running back. Both of these guys came out at the same time talking about Derrick and Ezekiel Elliott. We've got a pretty good contemporary of our competition this week in Ezekiel Elliott. I'm pleased with what Zeke is doing. Running back is just not on our radar as far as area of interest.
Okay, so that's I'll just go. That's silly by Jerry because I was
about to
actually
cry.
reading something this morning that it sounds like I think it was our buddy Todd Archer and somebody else who covers the Ravens clearly, and it was about Derrick Henry and Zeke,
Right.
and it was like talking about how excited they both are to reach 10,000 yards, which Henry's going to do in like 4 or 5 weeks. Zeke's 1,100 yards away, and the quotes from him were like, yeah, and hopefully this season, I'm looking forward to doing that too. It's going to be really memorable. I'm like, you might not make it, period.
Right. No, he wants to get to 10,000. I've talked to his
Yeah.
agent, and I just don't think it's going to happen.
But there are different points in their careers.
No, there's no doubt.
Like-
but they really, because it don't take much to get 1,000 yards right now in 17 games if you're the main guy. Because
Right.
he did get it a couple years ago, and
Right.
he's still the same guy as he was a couple years ago. Really, let's be honest.
Who,
about it.
Henry?
Zeke.
Oh, yeah, he was pretty bad a couple years ago.
Yes, I mean, it's like, it's so
Yeah.
bad. He got 900,000 yards. But Jerry continued on. He said, I don't have anybody else in the world asking me about the running game but the media. And he says the media's been talking about this like we're trying to cover our butts. I mean,
Jerry, your running game is ass.
I mean, it is crazy the stuff he's talking about. That
can't
we're the only
say
one
that.
talking about the running game.
Jerry, your
Don't
running
s-
game is terrible, and it's your fault. How about that? We'll just go straight to
I
you.
mean,
Your
it
running
is
game
just-
is really, really bad. It's your fault.
insane.
Tyron Smith looked great last night blocking for Braylon Allen. You don't have Braylon Allen because you traded for Trey Lance on your own when you went rogue, silly. And then you don't have Tyron Smith because you're cheap. So like this is your fault. So that's why it's like I don't understand what you guys are saying because Jerry doesn't take accountability for his F ups. The reason you suck at defensive tackle
Let it
is
out.
because
Let it
Jerry
out.
drafted a first rounder a year ago, and when you're the GM, Jesse told you about this the other day or the other week. When you're the GM and the owner, what you do is you double down on your F ups. Because if I spent another first rounder or spent big money, I would be saying, my bad, I effed up last year. And he refuses to do that. The things that are wrong with this team are your fault. And if you really don't know them and the words you're saying you mean, you are effed forever.
Listen.
So anyway.
I know we're talking offense.
Yeah, sorry.
But Jerry finally answered the Jordan Phillips question. And he said Jordan Phillips was favoring his wrist in his mind.
Okay, Jerry decided he was hurt.
Jerry's mind. And that's why he's going to injury reserve. Because Phillips told us nothing wrong with his wrist. And Jerry said for some reason or other there's been an issue about him going to IR. The facts are he's been favoring his wrist in my mind. And was Jones surprised that Phillips would say that, no, I didn't hear it. I'm actually looking at a note here that they gave me that said, be sure if they ask you about Phillips, I'm going to go ahead of you guys, get ahead of you guys. So he brought it up himself. But the bottom line is, I'm
Yeah,
sure
he's trying to get in front of the NFL.
Yeah.
all of that, he was favoring his wrist in my mind, is what Jerry said.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Yeah, and he's the GM.
Because
Sometimes
he was getting walked back into the end zone. So clearly you're favoring your wrist because you ain't bowing up.
Yeah.
So it must be your wrist.
Teams do this in every sport. Like, it shouldn't be a big deal. It's only a big deal because, as Clarence said, Jordan Phillips decided to go to the
'cause he
locker room
made
and
it a
fight
big
it.
deal. Yeah, there's
But no,
been plenty
teams
of
get fake hurt all the time.
plenty of players are told
You're hurt.
say ouch.
Yeah.
I understand
Whatever,
that, but
so-
Jordan Phillips is a veteran. He ain't playing your games.
Yeah. Well, he ain't playing football either.
Well, that's true, but he's getting paid, but he ain't playing your games. I
Right.
ain't got to dance.
Yeah.
I ain't got to do your dance.
But no, I mean another thing too. When you look at the Ravens defense, they're doing a lot with their linebackers, and just like you were talking about the fact that the Cowboys have young linebackers. Hey, guess what? So do they. And they're using these guys. They're not having a lot of success with blitzing. But that's how they're getting pressure because they're not getting crazy pressure with their front four. They really get it from the linebacker position and putting some of those guys at edge or having them rush up the B gaps or whatever. So I do think that Dak will have some opportunities to take advantage of, especially if Jake Ferguson is back,
Right.
which we're hoping, and attack the middle of the field with some of these linebackers and covers. Everybody except for Roquan. They also do, and to that point about the linebackers, they rotate these guys in a lot. It's a lot
Which
of
means they
substitutions.
don't have good players.
It's a lot of substitutions. It's a lot of things. I think they're still just trying to figure out who goes in tandem with Roquan right now, with
Yes.
Queen being gone. So they're testing out new guys or whatever. I think Dak can take advantage of catching them on their heels, catching them in substitutions, getting them to draw off sides, anything that you can do to get in the rhythm that way. But yeah, this linebacker core for them is kind of young too.
They got Roquan.
They have Roquan.
They do have Roquan. They do have, in the words of Jeff, they do have one badass.
Dog, he's everywhere.
They do have one badass. The Cowboys, you don't have a badass linebacker right now.
Yeah, he's a good player.
They do have one badass.
We got the chat saying Jordan Phillips is a better run defender than multiple people on the Cowboys. You're wrong. Jordan Phillips put together the worst tape I've ever seen from a football player in the history of watching NFL football last week. That was the worst I've ever seen a football player play football. The worst. No one's ever done. Like I said, he couldn't be out there next week, and I said that knowing there was no one else to play for him, and they sure did. They agreed. He was awful.
But what's also true, not to his point, but none of the tackles were good.
None of them. And he stood out.
He stood out,
That's how bad he was.
but none of them are plus players, and there's no answer that's going to improve the run defense. Carlos Watkins is not.
You call people Calvin.
Yeah, see?
Carlos Watkins is not improving the run defense.
No. Is he going to play?
Well, is Mozzie going to play?
Well,
we haven't even
Right.
talked about the fact that
Right.
Mozzie's missed the last 2 games with a back injury.
They didn't
Well,
do
Davis
practice.
He's gonna have to play.
Past 2 practice with a back injury.
He's
he
gonna
has
have
to play.
to.
Yeah,
Well,
he
he's
has to
gonna-
play.
Well,
They
if he
didn't.
can't,
They
he
didn't
can't.
sound like.
Well,
when
he
they talked
played
about
last
it-
week.
No,
He
he's
played
talking about
last week.
Carlos, right?
I'm talking about Carlos
He's
Watkins.
talking
He
about
played
Carlos.
last
I'm talking
week.
about Mozzie.
Yeah,
Like, I
no,
was saying, like,
Carlos has
listening
to
to what
play.
the coaches were saying, like all the week, it doesn't sound very promising.
No, it doesn't sound like
Yeah.
his
They're like,
back is okay.
we got some work to do. We got to get to some things, and it's
No,
like today's Friday.
And how did you guys feel when you heard? When I heard that he was injured, I immediately was like, bro, he don't need that. Like, this is not a good time. And not even about the football team and the lack of DT. I'm talking about specifically him dealing with another injury, coming off the shoulder injury, trying to find some traction and some promising tape and something to be confident in. It's just like, dog, like,
It's over for Mozzie.
He's a big boy.
Whoa.
We're not going to feel sorry for
It's
him.
over.
I'm
for
not
Mozzie.
talking about feeling sorry for him.
We're
I'm
allowed to
saying
feel sorry for him.
Why?
I do empathize.
Because he's an
like,
adult
yeah,
and a human.
Yeah, he's a person.
Like, you can feel bad for him. Like,
This is
Mozzie's...
the NFL. It means not for long.
And
Okay,
that's fine.
it's a dirty game.
And that's fine.
We see with Jordan Phillips. This has
What were
been
you saying,
you know
Jesse?
it's a dirty game, right?
Oh,
They-
100%.
It's a dirty game, and
they
he's
told me
getting-
they won a 53 and me and said the hell with the one that they had. I mean, I get it.
I mean, it's a dirty game. It's been a dirty game, and I understand that. But he was drafted in the first round. Expectations when you come out and you get drafted in the first round. He said, "I don't like football. I like to hit people, hit somebody."
Yeah. Well, those are two different things.
But-
like, you can observe those things and they're all true, but I can still feel bad for somebody.
Okay, well, I feel bad for
Don't.
Bryce Young. I feel for everybody.
And that's
I
okay.
feel
I
bad.
feel
I
bad.
feel bad for the whole 16 line.
I do feel bad for Bryce Young.
I mean, we'll feel bad for everybody that loses and can't play. Okay, everybody that got cut, I feel bad for them. They
You
can't play.
ain't feel bad for me.
They can't play.
You ain't feel bad
If
for
you
me.
can't play, you can't play.
You ain't feel bad for me
I
when
did
you wrote.
feel- I love you, Jesse.
When you
I
wrote
love your
fourth
story.
and dawn.
It was just a clever line.
I literally said
became
that
a
empathy
dream.
is your
It was-
superpower.
Okay,
Clarence comes out like, I don't feel sorry for nobody.
That's not the point. I'm just
Never.
saying that we all have stories, and I love writing about people's stories. The best thing about this business, I get to tell people's story. I get to tell people about Michael Irvin going from one of 17 kids eating cereal with water because they didn't have no milk. I love telling the stories, the Up from Roach's stories, all the stories about people's lives. But this is the NFL, you know, and there are people that are not going to make it.
No, for sure.
And I
do
don't
We
think-
can,
get
be,
it
we
done.
can, we
I
can be practical but still have empathy.
Like, I think the
I
way
mean-
that Mozzie is...
I mean, what I'm saying is he has given, they want him to play. They want him to do
We know.
well.
We seen it.
Right, and they've tried their best. And
It's
the way that Mozzie is wired might be part of the reason why, after this season, hell, he might not be a Cowboy anymore. He might not be an NFL player
I
anymore.
feel sorry for Taco Charlton. Y'all kicked his butt.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know much about him.
Tristan Hill, y'all kicked his butt.
Well, yeah, he was a bad draft pick. Rob
You know,
Manfred
I
screwed
go
it up.
back to what's the difference being from the 80s that 90s that got picked. I can't even think of Kavika Pittman. He was a disappointment. Feel bad for
Poor
Kavika
Pittman. Look, I'm a mental health guy, so when I hear that somebody's struggling in their brain with struggling at
Feel
football,
bad.
I feel bad for
And
him.
I felt bad for Greg Ellis. He got picked in the first round when everybody wanted Randy Moss.
Yeah, and he had a good career.
And he had a good career because he did his thing.
Yeah,
a
Okay?
Tar Heel
No
by
one
Voyage. I'll
stops
put
you
that
from
out there.
doing your thing.
that's correct.
That's all I'm saying. You can
Kinda.
be a player.
Okay.
If you're a player, you can be a player.
we're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Who Joe talked about their tight ends, and I just had a question for you guys. Like, he talked about their tight ends being successful. Who do you trust Do you think that Zimmer goes nickel at all? And who do you trust in the nickel position? Because I don't know if I trust on the linebacker right now.
It's got to be Wanye, right? It's
Possibly.
Gotta be, it's
Or
gotta,
Bell.
it's,
Or what you got?
Who?
Yeah. Or do we see
Or
Marquise
Marquise
Bell
Bell.
touch the
Marquise,
field?
yeah.
You have two safeties that aren't playing football right now that could cover their tight end.
But
I would-
Marquise is more of a box safety. Wanye is more of a cover safety.
I would say Wanye.
Well, they both-
if I had a choice.
You have to do both, or you can't play.
yeah.
Donovan don't do both.
It's
He
time for
plays
me to
deep
get
half.
off of this
He
camera.
can't
He plays.
cover.
He's not good at it.
Okay, so
and
we
that's why I
do
don't want
both.
him on the field.
He can't cover. He's
That's
a
why-
box safety.
But I just want to know because it sounds like they do heavy things with their tight ends, and then they also like to slip their tight ends after their fake block and whatever.
Because
So
Lamar can't throw the receivers.
He
It's
throws
time.
Zay a bunch. He throws a ton to Zay.
Zay said that ain't enough.
Oh, hell.
He throws a ton of Zay. He's forcing to Zay, but he likes throwing the
Great
tight
kid,
end.
by the way.
We got some super chats. Josh, Dak needs to average about 25 yards rushing. Yep, it's probably time to do everything, Mr. Prescott, because you're going to be
He
a little
mentioned that, yeah.
short-handed.
He mentioned that,
Yeah,
yeah.
he knows. He knows. That's one game. I've seen 3 seasons of the others. Look, if you want to die on the hill of Jordan Phillips is still good at NFL football, you're going to be by yourself. He
But you
will
can keep-
never play NFL football again.
But you can keep dropping super chats
Yeah.
in as bad as your comments are at times. Just
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
dropping
yeah,
them in.
yeah.
We'll keep reading them.
And
We'll
He
keep
got to do more than $1.99. It's $1.99.
Is
Come on,
Lynn
dog.
Hall
Come on,
serviceable
dog.
in y'all's minds? No.
No.
So
He wasn't bad against Cleveland, but this
he can't move.
was bad.
We're in trouble. But this is the Dak and CeeDee week. And this is a great week because of how down everybody is. Go beat the Ravens. And watch how much everybody changes. Go beat them. Do it. Okay, we're going to get into Cowboys win because, Cowboys lose because, and do some picks. But before we do, I want to encourage everybody out there. We want you to be a diehard. We want you to sign up to be a diehard. That's what we want you to do at alldlls.com. Obviously, you get all of the podcasts and shows, youtube.com/@DLLS_sports. We have a Cowboys show 5 days a week. Mavericks, Rangers, Stars, all of it.
Stars hockey's is starting, baby.
That's right.
Training camp.
Hockey, baby. Let's go.
That's all free to you. But if you want to support and get hooked up in a bunch of other ways, you could sign up to become a diehard. And then what you get is all sorts of, we have written content on the website that is not, it's not premium, which is kind of messed up because what we're saying is that Joe and Clarence, like some of the stuff you write is just okay, but some of it's premium.
Damn.
But if you want
Juicy stuff.
but the juicy, if you want access to the juicy stuff,
The gushy. The gushy. The gushy stuff.
if you
the
want
gushy stuff.
you want that. What is it? That gushy stuff. What is that song?
Sweet, that
Good.
nasty, that gushy stuff. Yeah.
Give it to me.
See, she don't
Well,
like that.
sorry.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know that song?
But yeah, we got dope merch for all the different teams that you can get 20% off and a free t-shirt if you sign up to be a diehard. It's $80. It's good for the year. You get a free t-shirt. You get 20% discount on the rest of the merch. You get 20% discount on all the events that we do. You get your diehard membership card. You get your
don't pull out your
Discord
card.
server where you hang out with us. I'm not going to show them my minister card. I'm not going to show them, not today. Not today. But yeah, we want you guys to sign up to do that. We also want you to hit the like and make sure that you're subscribed while you're sitting here watching. If you're watching on my channel today, make sure that you do subscribe to @DLLS_sports on YouTube. Do that, okay?
You're a jackleg preacher?
A what?
A jackleg preacher.
Clarence.
Jack.
You don't know what jackleg preacher
What?
is?
What?
I
know what a jackleg
have a
preacher is?
jacked up leg.
He does have a jacked up
that's
leg.
And I am a
See, in
minister.
our community,
I thought you were saying I thought you were
What is
Jingle
our
leg.
what is our
in our
community?
community, the preachers that be preaching that don't really have or certification, we call them jackleg preachers.
Who is
No, but
our?
he's certified. He's a diehard for Christ.
Now, he's
Time out. Who is our? Whose community?
in the black community, you're a jackleg preacher.
Okay.
There are a lot of people that preach.
You're trying to drive a wedge between us.
There are a lot of people that preach that don't have certification to be preaching.
Yeah.
They just go and start churches and call them jackleg preachers.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
You're a jackleg preacher.
We can do that. We can get on TV. We get on local TV.
Yeah, a lot of people just
Get
preach,
some monies.
Ain't took no classes.
Yeah.
You know,
And so that Jesse feels okay, we'll give 10% of the money to him.
name
for Holly's helping hands.
themselves a bishop. You know,
No, my salvation is not for sale. My salvation is not for sale.
99
We
theses.
call them jackleg preachers.
Y'all will not get my salvation for a price.
Jeff, someone else commented that they were waiting for your timeshare pitch.
Timeshare?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. What's your timeshare pitch?
I don't know, but if y'all got a timeshare that I can hang out at, I'd like to go.
Is our timeshare still a thing? Because I got scammed by timeshare back in.
I think.
I got to hear this story eventually.
No, I mean, this guys, we all got. Who else got scammed by timeshare?
I think. All of us.
Yeah. Wait. What?
So when I was married, we went on this trip, and you know. When we went on this trip,
They offered you a free hot
story.
dog if you bought a condo.
No, they offer you a free trip, right?
Yeah.
But then you got to sit through the sales pitch. I said, we're just going to do the free trip. We got this weekend. Late,
We know
all
how
this
timeshares
stuff.
work.
We
know how timeshares work.
and they got you.
You got
They
God.
got her.
You got God.
We're supposed to be a team, right? We're supposed to say
lies.
no, listen to them, and we're supposed to say no.
Yeah.
She was on the other team.
Why did you even go?
If you stop
I
listening,
went to get the free trip. Okay?
If you stop listening to them janky leg preachers, you would have known.
See,
that
I know this, but the wife was on their side.
When God came into the garden,
The wife was on their side.
he was looking for Adam. Even though Eve ain't died, but he said, Adam, where are you? You were supposed to be on watch.
I was.
Stop listening to them janky leg preachers.
Listen, you know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, I got the
I'm a
segue
big
going.
no guy. Okay, no. Just give me the free stuff. No, I'm not buying nothing.
Yeah.
And she was, you try to see that we can do that. I mean, I just lost it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's why there's actually.
I'm sorry.
It became really big business. People to get you out of your timeshare.
Right.
That
right.
became big
So
business.
I got all those calls too. Like, I'm not. Yeah. Paying forever.
You got God.
Cowboys win because chunk plays. They haven't done it this year. The Ravens haven't done a good job stopping it this year. The question is, which one is going to give? I don't think the Ravens by the end of the year are going to have a bad secondary, but so far they are the 32nd best pass defense in the NFL. And if there is any time to do this, it is against a defense that's trying to figure it out in that secondary, and it is with a quarterback that's a $60 million man and a receiver that's a $34 million man, and Jake Ferguson getting back on the football field, and their pass rush isn't great. This is the time. Cowboys win because number 4 and number 88 was for 87, 89,
87.
Goodness
and 87 get chunky. They're not going to get chunk plays in the run game because the running backs are terrible, Jerry. And you can't run the ball. So you don't have to acknowledge it, but I will. So it'll be chunk plays in the passing game, big plays, lead to points. That is Cowboys win because Cowboys lose because, I mean, come on, man. Cowboys lose because they have no defensive tackles. Lamar runs for 80. Derrick Henry runs for 120. They combine for 3 rushing touchdowns, and you die.
Yeah, wash, rinse, repeat on that one.
Yeah. Everybody good with the Cowboys lose because we comfortable?
I mean, you took mine.
For me, Cowboys win because the defense generates 4 turnovers on Lamar Jackson.
4?
How many
Turnovers.
fumbles?
He's gonna give up. He's gonna give up the ghost.
4 picks?
No. There's gonna be some picks in there because Lamar's good for one of those. I'm running
Like
one
ball.
way. No, I'm running one way. I jump pass, throw it. He's not the most accurate passer out there. And let's not forget, we still do have Trayvon Diggs that's hanging out there defending
maybe.
guys. We still do have. I think Carson can get his hands on one. There's some tip passes.
No. You're too much. Carson ain't get his hand on
Too
nothing.
much dip on a chip?
Too much dip on
Carson.
Carson ain't getting his hands on nothing.
okay.
No
He
interceptions in the last like 2 years.
He can't get the cold butt neck in Alaska. Okay,
Nah,
come on.
if
You
it
can't do
happens, I'm gonna come in here.
They
and blow.
throw deep to Bateman. If they throw deep to Bateman, which is a terrible idea, but that's what they do.
Okay.
Diggs is picking that bad boy.
So I think that there is a possibility. I don't know what my percentages are, but Lamar Jackson can give up the ghost sometimes. So 4 turnovers from Lamar Jackson, a combination of fumbles and interceptions, maybe a Micah around the edge, strip sack fumble. That's possible. It could happen.
And do the Cowboys lose because Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson run for 250 and 3 touchdowns?
You go.
You got a concept of a plan with the Cowboys defense. Concept of a plan.
Clarence, damn it.
Concept of a plan.
That's an
Because
old bit now.
they're going to be eating cats and dogs,
Oh, this
pets,
bit.
and
Clarence?
everything else.
Why are you recycling bits?
What about
We
the
need
guy,
new material.
Don't forget the
Cowboys
guy
win.
with the married and his
Okay.
sister.
Okay.
Timeshare.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Cowboys win because
Cowboys win because.
Stop it. Cowboys win because Dak Prescott outdoes Lamar Jackson.
I'll take it.
Outdoes Lamar Jackson. And he's going to have to outdo Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
He's going to have to. It's going to, because the defense is not going to slow down the running game. And one, they had a chance to score with the Saints last week. They didn't. I think that he's going to have to put the ball in the end zone. It won't be about the kickers. It won't be about seeing how far Aubrey can kick the ball. Dak Prescott has to outdo Lamar Jackson and get the Cowboys in the end zone.
What if our kicker outduels their kicker?
Inevitability.
That's going to happen.
15-9.
70-yarder on deck.
Hell yeah.
They'll be in the end zone.
Hey, Clarence, what's your Cowboys lose because?
They can't stop the run.
Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry run for 250 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Exactly.
Joe.
I agree with chunk plays, and I agree that they're going to have to move the ball downfield. But I'm going to take a little reverse psychology with this, and I brought the whiteboard out for it.
Oh, no. Don't do that,
stop
Joe. We can't.
Stop it.
Don't waste plays.
You gotta try.
Don't waste
You
plays.
gotta try.
Don't
You got
waste
to try.
plays.
The committee needs
to try.
Work. Don't wait. Dak, run on dropbacks.
Run the ball.
With who? For who? For what?
Cowboys lose because?
With who? With what?
Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson run for a combined
250 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Okay, get back to run the ball with who? With
The
what?
committee.
With who? With what?
With
The
the
committee.
Duh.
Behind what?
The line.
The great offensive line.
A great wall.
You gotta try.
The offensive line's going to come along as the season
the line
goes on.
has not been good.
You gotta try. There's too much
the
too
rookies
high.
have
There's too
not
much
been
coverage.
good.
There's too much shell. You gotta try.
I think
The
Baby's
right
been
tackle
okay.
has not been good.
No, the right tackle has not been
The
good. The
left
left
tackle's
tackle has
not
not
been
been good
good.
yet, but hopefully he will be.
You gotta try.
So let's tell
he
the
will.
truth.
Who lied?
That's what we do here.
Chat lied.
The blocking has to be better for the run game to be good, and the blocking has not been good.
Yes, currently the Cowboys have an iffy offensive line, bad running backs, 1 wide receiver, no defensive tackles. Yes, that's where we are today.
And a $60 million quarterback. They got to put it all together and make
right.
magic happen.
Let's go, Dakota. Kate, can you slap that thing up on the screen? Let's see if there's any chance we can run through this in 4 minutes. You guys ready for some
We can do
picks?
this. Oh yeah,
we can do
100%.
this.
Okay,
Easy.
so we got some picks. And the numbers that I'm using here are from our friends at
can't see.
Sleeper.
All right, we got a sweep right off the top.
What? Oh, yeah. So Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, I just combined their 2 rushing yard numbers on Sleeper. I think Lamar was like 50-something and Henry was around 80. Will the 2 of them get more or less than 123 yards?
More.
M's across the board.
More.
That's as easy to sell
More.
as Clarence trying to buy a timeshare.
More. It wasn't him, it was her.
We can't recycle You can't recycle old bits. You can't do that.
No, it's a circle. It's a
See?
refresh.
Dak Prescott. Yeah, that was just circling back.
It's a callback. Welcome to comedy.
That was a good circle back. That was like Chappelle at the end of a
That's all
show.
I did.
It's all the way back to the beginning.
gotta circle
Bam.
back.
Dak, 254.5 passing yards, more or less. I think that is a good number. I'm going to take more just because I really want the Cowboys to win. If he doesn't have more, they're not going to win, and I don't want them. They want him to.
Yeah, I'm gonna go less.
Son of
Wow.
a
They're
bitch.
going, you
We're
got
1
them
and
losing.
2.
You got them losing the game.
Don't worry about that yet. You don't know.
Okay. Is that
More or less.
more? Not even more.
Less from Joe. Okay.
Less.
No, he got them losing the game too.
Got some hating going on. CeeDee Lamb receiving yards more or less than 86.5. Whew, that's a big number. Again, I don't want to be 1 and 2. I'm manifesting right now. Don't worry.
No, that's fair.
Like, what I like to do is predict things and refuse to be held accountable for what I predict. CeeDee Lamb more.
Sound like Jerry Jones, huh?
Thank
There
you.
you go. There you go.
Well, yeah, but then eventually I would be like, oh, we do need new players. And he's like, no, we don't.
You know what? This is gonna be very interesting because if I'm the Baltimore Ravens, I double CeeDee Lamb and say, beat me, Jalen Tolbert.
I might triple him.
Beat me.
That's your guy though.
That's who? I know. I'm saying.
Your
but
guy.
we're talking
He's
about
trying to feed the
CeeDee Lamb.
narrative.
So I'm gonna go less.
So Tolbert's gonna have 100.
Maybe.
Jesse, hate. 3 hate.
More.
That's me and Clarence. Homer.
Well, here comes the. I'm going more because I think Dak's going to be less than that, but I think CeeDee's going to be
Look at Joe.
So
the
you
one
said
reasonable.
Tolbert ain't gonna do nothing.
no.
Oh wow.
The agenda.
Wow.
I'm pushing my agenda.
Hey,
till
he
I
could
can't
do
push it
something.
no more.
Not
Game
good.
That's not a
result.
comment on him.
Yeah, it is.
Game result. Katya, I am going the Cowboys win 55 to 6.
I'm out, yo.
The manifest. Manifest destiny.
55 to 6. Listen, we need this. And if I said Ravens 30 to 20, that's not fun. Cowboys 130 to 4.
Yeah. I'm taking the Ravens 27-20.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
Clarence,
I'm taking the Ravens.
about 27-20.
27-20.
Joe?
I'm taking the Ravens. 28-21.
Okay. All right, so there you have it.
$1 more.
$1 more both ways. All right, well, here we are. What we need this to be the week that the Cowboys, see, this is why I'm in the suit, Cowboys.
There you go.
Hey,
Because last week, we saw what y'all did. Y'all weren't serious. Y'all didn't approach that game as if it was serious. This is business time. And so now we are encouraging you with our hating and our doubting and telling Jerry he's silly because he is and lying all the time. Like we're here. They are doubting. I believe you win by 70, but they are doubting you, and you need to prove them wrong. I need to stop lying. I'm wearing a suit. We're trying to take this seriously. 30-20 Ravens.
Oh,
okay?
look at
30-20 Ravens. Now, for the record, lying to people.
Got your chest out.
Revisionist
Say it
history.
with your chest. Open another button up. Open another button up. Say it with your chest. Oh, look at that.
no.
30
Look at that clean hair chest.
30
wait.
to 20. Rick, I told you, I only grow a few. So
Yeah,
you
look
got to
at-
trim them down.
Look at you, boy. Look at that-
Remember
Little
to
that
hit
bare
the like
chest.
and subscribe.
Oh, bird chest.
And that you have no idea what
Bird
anyone is
chest.
going through. So be cool to everyone. Clarence. We love you. Be easy.
Eliminate the contingencies.
We all silly like the mayor.